Let me tell you this, Tokyo's train system is worse in the world. It is not efficient, it is not punctual, and it's just not doable. I'm just lying. Tokyo's transit system is massive, but it is absolutely doable. There are very few things you will need to understand, and you will figure out the trains like a local. In this video, I will tell you all about it. But first, let's understand Tokyo's transit system. Tokyo's transit map is giant, and it has the most extensive network in the whole world. But don't panic. Just remember, there are three main type of trains you will use in Tokyo. Number one is JR lines. These are the above ground trains. These trains is operated by JR East Company. The most famous one is the Yamanote Line. It is a big circle that connects all the major areas like Shibuya, Shinjuku, or Toei Station. And there are over 20 JR lines all over in Greater Tokyo. Now the second one is Tokyo Metro and Toei subway lines. These are the underground trains. They crisscross right through the center of the city, and they are operated by either Tokyo Metro or Toei subway lines depending on which one you choose, which is separate from JR line. Now there are private lines. Now these trains connect central Tokyo to outer areas like Disney or the airports such as Narita Express, or if you go to Hakone, you most likely use Hakone Romance Car. Like I mentioned, trains are operated by different companies. So there's different lines and map and tickets and fare system. Trains in Japan is owned and operated by individual private companies, not the government. Japan Railways, also called JR Line or JR, operates about 70% of Japan's railway network, including the high-speed Shinkansen or the bullet train. And they have extensive intercity lines and major commuter loops like Tokyo's Yamanote Line. JR also operates 6 regional companies such as JR East, Central, or West, whereas Tokyo Metro operates in Tokyo, Osaka Metro and Kyoto Metro operates in those areas or those cities, and they are also separate. In Tokyo, you will either take JR or Metro or both, depending where you are heading. But you can easily transfer between train operators. For example, if you take Tokyo Metro and change to a JR lines, it is possible, and vice versa. Also note, the train companies share tracks, and in some cases the same train turns into metro or JR lines after a certain station. For example, Tozai Line is a Tokyo Metro line, but it turns to JR Chuo line after Nakano station, and it goes more further. But this is not something for you to remember. Even if the train becomes another line or another company, you do not have to get off. Remain on board until your destination arrives. The only thing is, one single fare will not work if you change train operators. For example, first you took JR lines and you got off from a Tokyo Metro. You will need to pay for 2 different fares. First, pay for the JR lines, and second for Tokyo Metro. And it is also deducted from your IC card, so you do not need to do the math. The system will do this automatically for you. You just need to have enough balance on your IC card. IC card is valid on all train lines. To learn about IC card, watch this video somewhere here on my channel. In Tokyo and other parts of Japan, there are several train categories. At your platform, you will notice a local train, which stops at every station. Rapid trains skip some stations, and there will be express train that even stops at fewer stations than rapid trains. Now, there's limited express trains that stops only at the major stations. The ticket cost is same for all except limited express. You will need to pay additional supplement fee in addition to the base fare for riding these limited express trains. So always be careful not to board these limited express trains if you are not planning to pay this supplement fee. For example, if the base fee is 250 yen, so the base fare here means if you take a local line or rapid express, so that is the fare you will pay. So for example, if the base fare is 250, limited express might add another 500 yen as a surcharge. So if you board this train, you will need to pay 750, not 250. The train category is clearly labeled on the sign above the door or front of the train or on the board on the platform. They are also color coded. For example, local can be color coded as one color and another color for express, and so on. Always confirm which train are you taking, as it may not stop at your destination if it's a express or a rapid. All of these trains have their own benefit. The only thing is local stops every station, so that means if you are going to next station, then local would be the best option. But if you're planning to go further, then rapid might be good for you, or more better if you take limited express, but then it will cost you more. Apart from this, there's also bullet trains, which are super express, also known as Shinkansen. They also add surcharges in addition to base fare, and traveling on these trains is generally expensive. But in this video, I'll not talk about Shinkansen. Now, I will talk about how to take trains. For this example, I'm in Tokyo Skytree and on the Oshiagai station, and I want to go to Asakusa station for Sensoji Temple. First, I use Google Map to give me a direction. Google Map is suggesting me to take Asakusa line and get off at Asakusa station. That is 2 stops from here and takes 3 minutes. At Oshiagai station, there are various lines running. There's Tobu Skytree, Honjomon, Keisei, and Asakusa line. Since I'm following Google, I'm taking Asakusa line. At this point, you do not need to worry about which platform or which direction. First, you need to locate where the Asakusa platform is. Also, you will need to first tap into this turnstile and the gate will open, and then follow the direction to find Asakusa line. Once you enter this main gate, it does not mean Asakusa line might be right there. You may have to walk a couple of minutes. And if the station has more lines, same gate can be used for several other lines. Now it's time to check which platform and which direction of Asakusa line to take. For this example, I should take Asakusa line going towards Haneda Airport, and I can either go to platform 1 or 2. And when I arrive to either platform in Asakusa platform, I will look at the signs on the platform and the oncoming train to confirm it's actually going to Haneda Airport, just to make sure. Then I board the train. I will get off at Asakusa and follow the signs for the exit I want to take. For example, it could be 2, 3, 4, depending where we're gonna go. This scenario is very straightforward and only includes a direct train. Let's say if there was a transfer, for example, going to Akihabara from Oshiagai station, I will need to do a transfer. I will have to change at Ningyocho station and follow the signs for Hibiya line, and that is still Tokyo Metro, and take Hibiya line going towards Kita Shinjuku from platform 2 from Ningyocho station, and get off at Akihabara station. And this is all on Google Maps, and you do not have to remember any part of it. You will also notice every stations have a number and a letter. For example, Oshiagai station has letter A and number 20, so A20 on Asakusa line. That is to make it easier to follow the directions on the train. Now, when the train says next station is A14 Ningyocho station, this is a reminder for me to get off. It just makes it more easier. Then when you change to Hibiya line, now it becomes H, because we are no longer in Asakusa line, we are in Hibiya line, it becomes H, and this station Ningyocho is 14. If you were on a different station, it could be H 16, 17, depending where you transfer. Even in the same station, if there are various lines, then it can be different. For example, if it's A20 in Asakusa line, it may be H20 in the same station for a different line, or it could be T10 for another line. If the station have several lines, let's say 4 lines, then every lines will be indicated by a letter, and their platform can be called a different number, so it does not have to be same number. So let's say if it's A20 on Asakusa, it does not mean it needs to be H20 on Hibiya or Z20 on a different line. It can be any numbers. When you are exiting the station, this is where it might get little confusing. The train stations can be massive, and taking a wrong exit means you can be lost. You can be on any side of the train station basically, and you will have to walk all over to get to your destination. My suggestion is, rather than entering the name of the station of where you are going, enter the name of the attraction or the landmark or the place. For example, instead of entering Asakusa station, search for Sensoji Temple. Google Maps will then show you the exact exit to take. and at Asakusa station you just follow that exit. Now this may seem all confusing because I'm talking all about numbers and letters and also so many transfers. I have actually made a video showing all this in greater details with a real footage, so watch the video here to understand more. Now let's talk about tickets and fares. But before that, if this video has been helpful so far, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. This will help me a lot. Google Maps also shows you the total cost if you were using IC card to make a payment. Depending on which line you take and how far you go, fare varies. For the fare to Akihabara from Osaka station, it can be as low as 209 yen to all the way to 500 yen. Google Maps make it easy by showing this cost in advance in the screen. In general, you pay as you go. Fares are calculated based on the distance and train lines you take. You can purchase paper ticket like this on every stations or use a IC card, either physical like this or digital that is on your phone. For Tokyo Metro, you can also purchase a Tokyo Metro Pass that gives unlimited rides on all 13 metro lines as well as 4 Toei subway lines in Tokyo, and they are valid for 24, 48 and 72 hours. These days the pass is only available to purchase online, but you can redeem the paper ticket at the metro station. I'll put up a link below where you can click and purchase off Klook, and you can go to any metro station and turn it into a paper ticket like this. But don't lose this card as it cannot be replaced. If you are using Tokyo Metro lines most of the time, you will save a lot by purchasing a Metro Pass. For example, if one ride cost minimum of 300 yen and you need to take at least 3 or 4 in a day, that's already over 1000 yen. But for 1000 yen, you can get a 24-hour pass. And with this pass, you can get unlimited rides and it is valid for 24 hours. For example, if you activate the card at 10 a.m. today, it's valid until 10 a.m. tomorrow. JR lines also have similar pass, however it is a bit expensive and in some cases it's not worth it, especially if you are taking these JR lines less. If you have a Metro Pass and for some routes you have to take JR lines, the portion you traveled on a metro is covered by Metro Pass, but the remaining portion has to be paid separately, because you have used JR lines as well as Tokyo Metro. In Tokyo Metro, every adult must pay full fare, and adult means anybody that is above 12 years old. However, in Japan, any 12-year-old who is still in elementary school is still considered a child. In that case, a child fare will apply to that person. A child fare applies to person age 6 to 11, and this is half of adult fare. Infant less than 1 year old is free. Children from 1 to 6 years old can also travel for free, but there is a rule. Up to 2 toddlers can ride the subway free of charge as long as the adult has a ticket or a child ticket. However, if there's a third toddler, it will be charged a child fare. JR Line also has similar pricing like this. One thing to understand is children in Japan are typically classified by their school year rather than their age. But because school system differs from country to country, children of foreign travelers like North Americans or Westerns are more commonly classified by their age. Now let's talk about train timings. While Japan has an extensive and efficient network, they do not run 24 hours. Most local trains, subways, and major JR lines like Yamanote Line, they start running from around 4:45 a.m. up until 1 a.m. So basically it means from 1 a.m. to up until 4:45 a.m. in the morning, there are no train services. If you're landing at that time, you will have to make a separate arrangements as you cannot board a train. Now, traveling on a rush hour is an experience itself, and trains and platforms are extremely crowded, and there's a chance you may not get a chance to board the trains in these hours. Morning peaks generally starts from 7 a.m. and until 9:30. That's what we saw. Major stations are crowded because people transfer here or they get off. Evening peak also started just after 4:30 or until 8 to 9. And if you're staying near residential area just outside central Tokyo, you will experience the rush hour more, as these people tend to go to the city for work and come back home. And that is what I noticed. Now let's talk about some priority seats. Most trains have separate cars for women, and only women can ride on those cars during certain hours. If you're in that car and if you only see women in that car, just move to another car, as that is only for women. There are also priority seats for seniors, pregnant women, disabled, and also for kids. It is a good thing to not to occupy these seats if you do not fall into these categories. Now let's talk about basic train etiquettes. It is important to understand that the Japanese follow a strict etiquette in public, and especially when riding a train or taking a bus. Things like speaking on the phone or talking loudly with your friends is not accepted while you are on a train. And this is not just Tokyo, every part of Japan. Listening to loud music, placing your bags on the next seat to you, or not giving up your seat to disabled or women or elderly people is also not accepted. If you're wearing a backpack, ensure to wear it on your chest or like in front, just so your back is free. And you have to do this throughout your journey as long as you are on that train. So once you get off, you can just carry on your back. Eating is also not allowed, and also placing your feet on the seats is also not allowed. And for kids, running around and jumping is also not allowed. So when I said not allowed, it is just a basic etiquette. It is just respect to show in a foreign country. Now to summarize, Japan's railway system is developed, punctual, and extensive. Do not fear or have a feeling that you will not be able to figure it out. Once you start taking a few rides, you will get used to it. And that's all for today. If this video has been helpful, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. My next goal is to hit 1500 subscribers on my YouTube, and I will appreciate your support in that. Have a safe travels, and I will see you in the next video.